Hello and welcome, college basketball fans. I'm Wang. The calendar has turned to November, and we know what that means, right? The season must be just around the corner. And to help you get ready for tip-off on November 14th, I'm thrilled to welcome three gentlemen who have a combined 51 years of head coaching experience to our college basketball roundtable. To my left, Mark Turgeon from the University of Maryland. In the middle chair, Mike Lonergan from GW. And at the end chair, John Thompson III from Georgetown. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. Let's just get started. About the season's less than 2 weeks away. Mark, I'll start with you. First year in a new conference, obviously. Some new rivals to be formed. A bunch of teams that went to the tournament from that conference, 6, I believe. Just your thoughts on what fans can expect from Maryland this year competing against a new set of teams.
Well, it's a great league. I mean, arguably it's been the best league in college basketball the last 4 years. Most Final Fours, most Elite Eights, most Sweet 16s, most first-team All-Americans. So it's a great league, great coaches. I have a lot of respect for the coaches in that league. A lot of guys have won a lot of games and done it at a high level. So it's exciting. The league did us some favors. We have a great home schedule, so we should have some great home crowds this year. But it's a tremendous league and one that we're looking forward to playing in.
And John, you went through the new Big East a year ago. Picked second this year, some injuries last year. Give us kind of a projection of how you see the season unfolding.
We're anxious. We're ready to get going, to put last year behind us. You know, and I have a different team in that, you know, some can look at us and say we're a veteran team because we have 5 seniors out there, and then we have 5 freshmen that are coming in, and that mix of the old and the guys that know how to win, that have won the Big East championship, with the talent that's coming in with the new kids. You know, it's going to be fun. It has been fun so far, and fun's not a word I use too often. Just trying to bring that together. Now, starting in 2 weeks here, I don't know how often I'll be saying that as we go through, and we're going to go through some growing pains early, but I think at some point this year, I think this group will come together and we have a chance to be pretty good. Mike,
GW also picked second in the A10. You got a bunch of guys coming back, guys healthy coming back this year. Your expectations, I would imagine, are pretty high after going to the NCAA tournament last year, too.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. We got a strange mix of veterans. Our 4 juniors has been starting since they got there, and then we have 7 new players. So I don't have a lot of patience. So practice has been tough, putting in a lot of sets, but hopefully we'll be a lot better in January than we are right now.
And we've talked about injuries a little bit. I know, Mark, Evan Smotrz is out for a little bit there. How does that kind of impact the rotation for you, and is it still kind of a work in progress before the season starts?
Well, it's going to be a blessing in disguise, and it's funny, listen to John talk. Our teams are very similar. We have some 4 seniors, which I've had 4 combined since I've been here, and we have a lot of new players. So Evan being hurt is going to force me to play the new players more and play them more minutes, and then in the end, it's going to make us a better basketball team. I feel bad for Evan because he was really practicing well. It's his senior year, and he's going to miss some games. But hopefully he's a quick healer. It's not the long 5th metatarsal injury. It's a 4 to 6 week one. So we're 2 weeks in tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get him back sooner than later.
Mike, you had Keith and Savage, who basically didn't play last year. Joe McDonald's batting through injuries the whole season, toughed it out. Now they're back healthy. That obviously has got to be encouraging for you going forward.
Oh, definitely. Those guys have been with each other. Now they're healthy. So those 4 guys, the nucleus of our program, you know, should give us the experience we need to really compete against anyone. And we just got to get some of the freshmen to come along quickly to join them, and, you know, trying to build some depth right now.
And John, last year we saw, you know, a different thing seem like every game, whether it's Jabril breaking his jaw, Joshua Smith not with the team, but now you look, both those guys are back, and could you address Josh being there, how much that helps the squad, and obviously Jabril's energy is, you missed that during the games that he was out last season.
Yeah, last year was rough. I mean, it felt like, you've heard me say, I felt like one roadblock after another kept being thrown in our way. But, you know, everyone is healthy, everyone is eligible. You know, Josh is a presence. He's a post presence that we have when he's on the court that we don't have when he's not on the court, and you have to pay attention to him from a defensive perspective, which allows everyone else to be open and lanes to be open. So he's doing what he should do, and he better keep doing what he should do. And you know, we're a better team with him on the court.
Well, all 3 of you obviously competing in very, very difficult conferences, non-conference schedule. Get you ready for it. Mike, I was wondering if you could talk about a couple of games you're looking to in the non-conference schedule that may get you ready for the A10 challenge.
We're playing a lot of road games. We're, you know, at Virginia, defending ACC champs. We're at Seton Hall, at Rutgers, at Penn State. We're in a Diamond Head Classic in Hawaii, which Mark's old program, Wichita State's there, Nebraska, Colorado, they all went to the tournament last year. So that's a good field. So, you know, we feel that'll really prepare us, toughen us up. as we get ready for what should be another strong Atlantic 10 conference.
John, you obviously have had a history of strong non-conference games. I imagine Kansas and Indiana are two that you may have circled going into the season.
Yeah, I think it's important just to play as tough of a preseason, which is what I call a pre-league schedule, as possible. And so you mentioned Kansas and Indiana, but we're also going to the Bahamas, where the field is just loaded. It's Florida, Oklahoma, North Carolina, UCLA, Wisconsin, UAB. I forget, and Butler. We agreed to be in that tournament before they came into the Big East.
Sure.
And so you can go over there, and realistically, any one, you can lose 3 games and still be a really good team. Now, we don't plan on doing that, but we're going to be tested by the time Big East play rolls around.
And Mark, big name teams in the Big Ten, who are you looking for in the non-conference schedule to kind of get you ready for the Michigan States, the Ohio States, those programs?
We put together a good non-conference schedule. We're in Kansas City, which is good timing. It's when Gary Williams is going into the College Basketball Hall of Fame, so he'll be out there with us. And we'll play Arizona State, and then we either play Alabama or Iowa State. Iowa State's obviously a top team in the country. We've got Virginia at home, which is great for our fans. Virginia's a heck of a team. Obviously had a great year last year. Then we added Oklahoma State on the road to kind of get us ready for, and we do that right around Christmas to get us ready for the Big Ten.
You all addressed holiday tournaments. I'm just curious, are they just beyond the competition themselves? Are they good trips for bonding, for team chemistry? I imagine you're away from your home base. The players have a chance to get to know each other, the freshmen and the new players and some of the seniors. Is it a good trip beyond just the level of competition? And I'll throw out to any of you. John, why don't you address that first?
I don't look at it as bonding.
Yeah.
I think by the time we get to that, they've spent a lot of time with each other. They've bonded.
Yeah.
But more importantly, especially with the realignment with the new Big East, it's important because of the exposure that your program gets, coupled with the level of the competition. So it's not necessarily about bringing this group together off the court. I think it's more so just about the exposure, the experience, playing 3 quality teams on national TV, which was important for us.
Mark, your thoughts on
Yeah, I agree with John. I think just see where you are.
Yeah.
And if you have to play 3 games in 4 days, we have to play 2 and back-to-back in Kansas City against good competition. Just see how tough you are, how you react, how quickly they can learn from one day to the next, and just how tough you are. And just kind of gives you a good gauge early in the season where you have to go from there.
Mike, you're going to Hawaii. Are you looking at that as a chance for your players to kind of come together, because you have some new players too?
Oh, definitely. And we're going to enjoy Hawaii a little bit for a few hours. But it gives us opportunity. Scheduling is very difficult for us in non-conference.
Yeah.
And it gives opportunity, like the Wooden Legacy last year. We got to play, Miami, Marquette, and Creighton, who was nationally ranked, and we won 2 of those 3 games. And those are not teams we can get home and homes with. So we really look forward to those exempt tournaments and to being a nice destination. Makes it nice, and the games are all on one of the ESPN families of networks.
And GW and Georgetown both playing at Verizon Center in the BB&T Classic. Maryland's been there before. Mike, I just want to get your thoughts on playing a game at Verizon Center where, away from Smith Center, but still kind of a home game for you, what that kind of means to you and maybe to helping the profile of DC area basketball on the college level.
Yeah, we love being in BB&T. I mean, first and foremost, raise a lot of money for children's charities, and it gives us a chance for our fans to see us play in a different venue. And we've had success there in the past. GW's done a great job over the years, and there's been a lot of good teams that have come in there. So I'm happy that the BB&T is still going to happen. Mark,
how's that experience been for you, being able to play at Verizon Center for during that tournament?
Well, I think whenever you can get in an NBA arena and play, if you get to the NCAA tournament, you'll play in a venue like that. I think it's good. Playing on neutral court against a quality opponent, I think, is always a good experience. And then, of course, being home is good for our fans. And it's been a tournament that's been a big part of our history the last 20 years.
And John, for you, I don't know if it's a little odd being in a tournament on your home floor, but your thoughts on participating this year?
Well, we're excited about it. We're going to see how odd that is. I haven't had to go through that before.
Yeah.
But as Mike pointed out, it's as much about helping the local charities as anything else.
And to make that appearance locally in terms of recruiting, DC obviously a hotbed for recruiting. Does that help to play locally so kids from programs around the area can come and watch you guys? John?
I think we're all very fortunate to be coaching in this area, in that the level of talent at the high school level is terrific. And more importantly, possibly, is the quality of the coaching in this area is outstanding. And so, and there are enough players, enough programs in this area where I can get the guys I need to get. Mike can get the guys he needs to get.
Right.
Turgeon can get the guys he needs to get. And that just speaks to the high school coaches and the high school programs that are in this area.
Mark, I'm curious from your perspective, now that you are here, but before you came to the D.C. area, what was kind of the national perception of basketball in the D.C. area, and has it changed for you since you've been here now and seen the level of talent around the area?
No, that's why you take the Maryland job, because of the talent around here. And John said it best. It's quality's tremendous. The league, Catholic League that plays is tremendous. The coaching's tremendous. And like you said, there's a lot of players around here, and you got to figure out which ones fit into what you're trying to do and try to keep them home. But you take the Georgetown job, the George Washington job, and the Maryland job to keep the best players home that fit your program that can help you be successful.
Mike, obviously a lot of international players on your team, but also a lot of local guys too. You grew up here. Is it special for you to get a local player to come to your program?
Definitely. You know, I love it here. I love the area. And, you know, we went the international route a lot because our program was down at the time I got here. And, you know, we couldn't really even get in any of those recruiting battles. So, you know, now we're recruiting a lot of the same players. We just got to win some of those battles, which isn't easy. They both have great programs and a lot of tradition. But the DMV, as they now call it, it's, you know, it's awesome. I mean, it's a high-level high school basketball. The highest level AAU basketball is in this area as well.
Mike, let me stick with recruiting for a second. And we've seen a lot of mid-majors go far in the NCAA tournament with a senior-laden roster. Does that impact how you recruit, to have a guy who can stay for 4 years, or is the talent of a player who may be one and done, does that kind of override that?
Well, I wouldn't mind one of those one-and-done guys. But I don't think that's really happening, you know, at our program. But excuse me, I do think it will happen in time. As far as, you know, we're going with these juniors. It's their third year together. We'll have 4 starters, and then next year we'll have 4 four-year senior starters. And Tyler Kavanaugh from Wake Forest will be eligible. So I think next year we'll have one of the most experienced teams in the country. But the future is now, so we're worried about this year.
Mark, Maryland certainly had a history of great players leaving early, but also seniors who've stayed to help the program. What are your thoughts on recruiting in that regard?
Well, I think you try to get the best players you can.
Yeah.
And in today's world, it's about getting the best team you can for this season. And then when that season ends, you're going to get the best team you can for the following season. It's crazy out there in college basketball. So with that said, you get the best players you can. You can't make – I don't think there's one guy that can do what he's doing with one-and-dones, and that's Calipari. If you're lucky enough to get some of those, that's fine. But I do think, like, John has a lot of seniors this year. We have a lot of seniors. I do think it gives you a chance to have a very good basketball team. And then also, if you're lucky enough to make the NCAA tournament, to advance in the NCAA tournament.
John, you've had seniors go through like Markel. You've had players leave early like Otto and Greg Monroe. Where do you stand on that in terms of recruiting?
Well, I think you have to recruit the best players possible. And as Calipari has issues that none of us have. You know, and so, but I do think, Turge said it best, you have to get the guys that fit your program. So whether that's a potential one-and-done, two-and-done, 3, 4 years, while they're there, they understand the values of your institution. They understand what you're trying to accomplish. They understand what your program is about. And if you get those players, whether they leave after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you know, I think we can figure all the other aspects of it out. But I'm not one to say we're not going to recruit this person because they may leave after 1 year. Or I'm not going to say we're only going to recruit this person because I know they're going to be there for 4 years.
Right.
I think it's just assembling the best group that you have right now.
Let's move from the local scene to national college basketball and kind of the health of the sport. And I want to touch on some rules changes that, you know, a lot of folks have been discussing. Since Election Day is upon us, if you guys could have one vote to change a rule, what would it be? Or is everything hunky-dory for you in terms of college basketball? Rules I'm thinking about are the shot clock, maybe reducing that, changing, eliminating alternating possession instead of having a real jump ball like the NBA does. I don't know if you want anything changed, but Mark, why don't you take that one first?
I don't sit around and think about it,
Yeah.
Gene. I'm sorry. I just don't. I do think our shot clock's going to go down. I think it's out of our hands. But I think it's going to go down to 30 soon, and that's going to happen. But I don't sit around and worry about what's wrong with the games. I think our game is tremendous, and I think it's up to the coach, whatever the rules are, to coach the best you can within those rules. So I know a lot of guys have time to sit around and think about those things, but I just don't do it.
Mike, for you, is there something that you'd like to see change, maybe?
Yeah. I'd like to bring back the jump ball. I'd like to keep coaches from calling timeouts on the sidelines. And because, you know, you got a guy in trouble and you can just sit next to the ref and call a timeout anytime. Yeah. And I am in favor of the 30-second clock. We're using our exhibition game this Saturday. and I think it'll go into effect next year.
Any rules you want to see change, John, or are you just worried about the X's and O's and what's happening now?
No, I'm like Mark. I mean, whatever hand you deal me, I've got to play that hand. I do. The shot clock is going to be lowered. When that happens, no one knows. I think it'll be sooner than later. And so you have, as a coach, as a team, you have to make adjustments. So we go through last year where, especially the first part of the year, the hand checking.
Yeah.
You touch a guy, you're going to get a foul.
Yeah.
We just have to make adjustments to how we coach, and our players have to make adjustments to how you play. And as long as the refs stay consistent with everything, collectively we'll all figure it out.
And let's get to a final thought for today, John. Can you give us maybe a couple reasons why fans should expect this year's version of the Georgetown Hoyas to be better than last year?
Oh, I can give you a whole lot of reasons.
Okay, well, be my guest.
Well, fans should expect that. We're going to be exciting. Yeah. You know, we have a core of veterans, core group of veterans that have a Big East championship, and we have an incoming group of very talented, very smart kids that their infusion is going to help our program.
And Mike, your thoughts on why GW can maybe go even further in the NCAA tournament than last year?
Well, I'm hoping those 4 juniors, you know, they're healthy now. They've been together. This is their 3rd year together, and they have, you know, no selfish egos at all. So they like that they taste the NCAA tournament, and they want to get back there, and they want to try to advance.
And Mark, for you, your thoughts on, if you're talking to Terrapins fans, why the season is going to be better than the last?
Well, we have good players,
yeah.
And our pieces fit. We have a really good point guard in Romello Trimble, who is just a really good basketball player. And I'm having a blast coaching him. And a lot of coaches this time of year, we haven't lost any games, so you're happy. But every day I'm happy coaching these guys. They give me whatever they can give me, and we continue to get better. So I just tell Terp fans they're going to love this team this year. They're going to love cheering for them, and hopefully it's going to be a great year for us.
Right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you coming in. I'm Gene Wang. Thanks for watching Post TV's College Basketball Roundtable.